I fucking want a real goddamn modern Kingsfield type game. I'm talking about a first-person RPG dungeon crawler, sword and board type stuff, you know? Like you've got your sword in your right hand, your shield in your left hand, and you're moving through the catacombs of Nakfala or whatever okay? That's what I want. There's a game that's on early access right now on Steam. Vaush blurry. Sorry, I wasn't in here. I don't have autofocus on. Anyway, there's a game that's on early access on Steam right now, and it's just not doing it for me. Like Dark Souls. Okay, here, let me try to sell this to you guys, okay? Can I try to do that? Okay? Here, let me try to explain this. Okay? First of all, I have played a lot of roguelites. I like roguelites a lot because they tend to be really difficult. The reason they tend to be difficult is because you don't have to worry about balance when you're designing a roguelite. Seriously, you don't, right? Like sometimes you just get bad items and you're shafted that run. But it feels like okay because the runs where you get really good items like feel really, like pretty great. I've had a lot of fun with Gunfire Reborn lately, which gets very difficult later on, and I'm enjoying it a lot. But I miss like real RPGs. You know what I mean? And the thing that bothers me a lot is that with modern development tools, I feel like you could make an RPG that's really long, like a really big RPG, um, without that much effort compared to how it used to be, you know? I know they're hard to make, but like the tools have gotten a lot better. Oh yeah, Artemy got me. He woke up with next to me in bed, and I fluffed his belly, and he grabbed me. He was having a great time. Uh, okay, this is Kingsfield. Okay, like look at this. Okay, this is Kingsfield. Like, this is some classic shit right here. Look at this. This is some classic shit. This is from the From Software people. They made Dark Souls. Um, this is the classic. This is like yeah, so I miss dungeon crawlers like this because there's something just so like gripping and mysterious and intriguing about physically walking through like a bunch of cramped tunnels. And it's like you found a ring of protection, and just like, what does that do? And then it either does nothing or it does some like overpowered bullshit. Like you never know what you're going to get in these types of games, especially the older ones, because they were so like weirdly designed, you know? All game design is so like refined these days, you know what I mean? Like everything is so tuned, everything is so predictable because it fits within like expected tropes of good game behavior. Um but things used to be a lot weirder, okay? But like imagine this, okay? The problem is that in those old games, combat was fucking boring, okay? That's the main problem. In all those games, you click to attack like you're fucking Gordon Freeman, and the enemies just sort of walk towards you, and then when you get too close, they attack. So all you do is run forward, hit, walk away, they miss, run forward, hit, walk away, they miss, run forward, hit, and you do that 50 times, and then they die. It's super uninteresting. Um, but wouldn't it be super fucking cool? But that's Dark Souls? No, no, no. Dark Soul. No, no. Oh, please work with me here. No. First of all, Dark Souls is not first person, which is a huge, huge, huge change in gameplay. Second of all, Dark Souls is really fun. Stamina management, rolling or dodging or whatever, block and parry add a lot to the game mechanics. Dark Souls is so fun to play that, spoilers, it ended up being like one of the most popular game series ever. So, what if you took everything we've learned about melee combat from Dark Souls and tried to fit it in the format of a first person dungeon crawler? Now, obviously, you can't roll because that would make you throw up with the camera angle changing. But what if you had like a dash or a dart that you could do in different directions, right? And then rather than blocking being a passive thing where you just hold up the shield, you have to time it to do like the proper block. Because in reality, right, like in real fights where people had swords and shields, you don't just hold your shield up and the enemy just hits your shield, right? That's stupid. Like, if you've got a little buckler and they've got a big axe, they're not going to go like, oh, the shield, and like hit the shield. Like, they're going to hit the not shield. Like, you have to bring the shield up to actively push away the. So basically, Vermintide. Well, Vermintide does have a very good first-person combat system, doesn't it? Right? Vermintide feels like a lot of fun to play in first person. But imagine if you had like Vermintides. I actually think that's a good analogy to draw. Yeah. What if you had Vermintides like moment to moment combat, but instead you had like a well crafted first person like dungeon crawling RPG world? How cool would that be? So this is Vermintide. Now it has some more outlandish stuff because it's the Warhammer universe, but if we can get to a point where people are doing melee here and not magic. It's got pretty good visceral melee combat. Um, you know? But magic is fun. Okay, but I don't want it to feel like an FPS, right? It has to feel like a proper RPG. One of the main things that differentiates like an FPS with melee weapons and an RPG that's melee focused, I think, is that think of like Deus Ex or System Shock 2. You shouldn't start the game off as some kind of weapon god. The moment you hit go in Vermintide 2, you're a weapon god. Like, even if you're level 1 in game, like your character, the character you're playing as, can fucking dual wield like fucking akimbo blunderbusses, and then like whip out a giant halberd and like fucking spin jump flat. Like, if you're starting a proper RPG, I think a good RPG should have you losing against two dogs. That's my opinion, okay? That's the shit I like to see. If I'm playing a fucking RPG, the first combat encounter should be with one dog, and I leave with a third of my HP left, and then I see over the hill two dogs next to each other, and I think, fuck that. Fuck that. No. Fuck that. No. 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 I'm going to town. I'm getting a better weapon. Fuck that. That's what I'm talking. I love that shit. I love that shit. It's that you started from the bottom. Now we had to grind for that view. As you're on top of like the fucking evil Dark Lord's tower or whatever. I love that feeling. Um, if you have the game dominated too much by FPS mechanics, then good players will be able to like fucking bunny hop their way through like 80% of the content because the mechanics allow for such a high ceiling in terms of like what you can do. But you have to work for that, in my opinion. Um, so like a modern skill-based Morrowind. No, Morrowind's not a dungeon crawler. Um, so basically not ultra kill. I just think that there aren't many games like what I'm describing. In fact, there are none. I'm describing a game that doesn't exist. I had an idea that was like, here's the premise, okay? Tell me if this doesn't sound dope. Like, you have like you start off as this like young initiate in a jungle, like fighting, oh well, there's an evil parrot, blah blah, like the classic stuff. And the broader narrative is that it's kind of like a fantasy Aztec society, and you guys are getting fucked by the conquistadors right now. You guys are getting absolutely fucked. So your gods basically set aside like a pocket of the jungle to as a training ground for like young initiates to be thrown in there and to be very strong so they can go up against, and I'm talking like fantasy conquistadors, right? So I'm talking like 9 foot tall, like benighted, or sorry, not benighted, that means unintelligent. Like 9 foot tall knights with like these great shields that weigh 400 pounds that have like that are riding like golden lions or shit. Fucking what? Just imagine whatever the most like hyperbolic, mystical, like foreigners' representation of conquistadors would have been, and you have that. And the gods created like this training ground that you try to fuck it up in, like to get stronger in, so you can fight the conquistadors. But you came in too late. Your gods are long dead, and the further you move through it, it's like even this like protected sanctuary has kind of gotten fucked up by like fantasy European influence. So it goes from like first you're fighting in like the designated, like defeat this lion, great warrior, you know, and you've got like the cool clubs and axes that like the like Jaguar warriors had, you know, the Aztecs. Um, and it goes further and further, and things are like sort of bleeding out, and everything's kind of fucked. You spend most of it fighting against like European I don't know. I feel like it could be super dope. I feel like it'd be super dope. Not to mention, like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing, like making all of our shit European or Japanese. Cause like I know the Japanese have cool shit, but like Aztec, um, the Aztecs had the coolest fucking aesthetics, dude. There's so much artistic license there for awesome, dope shit. It's great. Why are we not? Look at this fucking guy. Look at fucking Quetzalcoatl. Look at this fucking guy. You can do a million things with this. Literally Minecraft, yeah. Unfortunately, I could never even dream of trying to do any of this because I don't actually know how to do 3D modeling. I don't know how to do Blender. It's a skill that I don't have. I guess if you kept everything in like a deliberately low poly, low res art style, it might be possible to learn in the lifetime that I have left. Yeah, yeah. Aren't some of the Zelda temples Mesoamerican inspired? Yeah, I mean, there's inspiration around the place. The problem is that in the TTRPG/RPG space, the woke skulls give the designers shit when they try to use non-Western culture. Nah, I don't use that as an excuse. Dude, woke skulls give people shit when they sneeze the wrong way. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's all good. Look, Returnal has a lot of the qualities you've listed. Haven't I played Returnal? No, it's PS5 exclusive. Also, this is a third-person shooter roguelike. Kill yourself. Third-person shooter sci-fi roguelike? What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you guys do this to me? What? Jesus Christ. Don't kill yourself. I love you. I'm sorry. I just it's a it's a this is like a trope whenever I try to talk about stuff with the chat and they're like, "Oh, there's Skyrim." Funnily enough, of all the things I've ever talked about, this is the most like Skyrim thing with a couple of problems. First of all, Skyrim is shit. Second of all, Skyrim melee combat is literally the most butt-fucked, like uninteresting, like loser fucking shit in the universe, which is why nobody does it. Nobody does it. Zero people do it. You have to get mods to make it work in melee. Only fucking stealth archer shit is viable in the base game. And what was I saying? Yeah, magic is also dog shit. At least magic's interesting, you know. Another thing that I've kind of noticed is that like the Kingsfield type games with the dungeon crawling tend not to have like well-developed narrative elements. But I'd be interested in seeing how well you could humanize NPCs in that format. Like really humanize them, you know? Every game that has NPCs should like give you tear jerkers, in my opinion. You know, you know how like, never mind. Nah, I can't play Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've seen other people talk about how bad the combat is against multiple people. Wait, so do you think like Bannerlord combat would work in a dungeon crawler? Well, is Bannerlord first or third person? You can switch between, right? Yeah, well, dungeon crawlers used to be first person. Wasn't that the Might and Magic series? Well, Might and Magic was grid based, I think. But like historically, the dungeon crawler started, I think, with or like Daggerfall. Yeah. Like Daggerfall, the like first Elder Scroll, not first, but like one of the older ones, right? Yeah, you like wander through a dungeon. Daggerfall, a complete retrospective, 3 hours 46 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. There's something about this that I just find so engaging. Like, yeah, like this, man. I've never played Daggerfall. But like, okay, stop. Don't do the YouTuber shit for me. Just show the game. Thank you. Like, stuff like this, man. Like, yeah. Well, hey, this isn't even real 3D. It's 2.5D with the character sprites. I could do that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Holy shit, dude. I don't know what it is with the Elder Scrolls series and giving every fucking character the blue steel face. But Daggerfall is free, you know? Well, I want a modern iteration of this is the thing, you know? I want a modern, I want it to be heavily focused on the stuff that I'm interested in. Them some titties. God damn. Elder Scrolls games are ugly. I agree with that. I don't know what it is about Bethesda, but Elder Scrolls games are just ugly. Like all of them. It's not even like the graphics tech. There's just something about how they're made and how the art, it's not even the same engine, because you can do all the way back to Daggerfall, which is not the same engine as fucking Skyrim, but like all of it, they're just ugly. To be fair, the Fallout games are too, but I think that that's compensated for by really good art direction. Like they're working with good initial material. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, Fallout 3 was bad graphically, but phenomenal. I mean, like art direction stuff. Don't forget the best Fallout wasn't made by them. Yeah, sure, but like New Vegas wasn't a very pretty game, right? It's just a very, 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 very good game. I'm arguing too much. I'm gonna get fucking tummy ache. Oh, God. I love Elder Scrolls lore, though. I heard it's wild. Isn't Elder Scrolls lore like all the universe is a tube and somebody poked a hole in it and that's what the stars are? I don't fucking know. There's some crazy shit in the Elder Scrolls lore. Truly wacky. Nah, I don't like point and click dungeon crawlers. That doesn't interest me. The universe is a dream by an elder god? Let me be very clear about what I mean. Okay, I'm going to boot up. Okay, I did a lot of looking up last night. All the games you're mentioning right now I know about. It is impossible that any of you will mention a game I don't know about. I know a lot about this because I spent a while looking. Here, Lunacid or Lunacid possibly is a game on early access right now. That is that is like trying to do this. Okay, I'm just showing you what I mean. That's what we're doing. Just real quick. It's not a game stream. I'm just... So, like, retro aesthetic, VHS tape, blah blah. Accursed Tomb. Yeah. Okay. Right off the bat, this is the feel that I'm talking about. You see what I mean? Like, this is like the feel. Let me go to the blood mire. No, I like the style a lot too. The problem that I have with this game, the thing that's fucking me up, is that this game, I love the art style. The problem is this game is just recreating the old ones. It's not innovating, I think. So, like, here's my issue. Where's the enemy? This fucking guy. Okay? So here's an enemy, right? Hemo crawler. No, Hemolith, okay? Like every enemy in this game, he walks up, he does the attack. He's got one attack animation. Walks up, the attack. Walks up, the attack. Get back here. Get back here. Get. Walks up. Ah, he got me that time. See? I walk up, I attack, I dodge, I walk up, I attack, I dodge, I walk up. He attacks. Meh. 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 Okay, Resident Sleeper. I'm sleepy. I'm eepy now. This is what I mean. What we need is what we've learned from the Dark Souls iteration. Like having enemies with more complicated AI, having a dash on your part, and an active dodge and block. To be fair though, this game does have an interesting, if you hit block with certain types of weapons, you dash backwards. I actually like that a lot. See, look? I'm not moving. It does that on its own. It's a stat. It's called like backstep. So whenever you block, you do a little dash backward. I like that a lot actually. I think that's pretty nice. But like, if you had like a quick step instead of just zooming around at 1,000,000 miles an hour because I put all my fucking stat points into speed. See, I have 75 points into speed. It literally just makes you run faster. If apart from that, and have enemies with complicated AI, you know. Do you guys remember the ninjas from Half-Life 1 or the wolves from the Ashes of Ariandel Dark Souls 3 DLC? You guys know what I'm talking about? If there were enemies like that would like dart around, here's the thing. In a first-person game like this, enemies that will try to get behind you are a massive fucking threat, right? Like, in Dark Souls, it's third person, which means that if an enemy's behind you, you can very quickly turn around and attack. In first person, it is a massive threat to be surrounded, like in real life, because real life is first person. So having enemies that would try to like stand here, dart around, like all that crap, you know, like, I feel like, ooh, like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's so much potential for good combat here, but everything is acting the way it did back in like 97. Here, take me to the... Vaush needs to check his view settings. I set the field of view to what it is right now for a reason. Look at these big moths. Look at how cool they are, right? They're beautiful. I really like these enemies. You know what they do? They do a little spell like that. They do a little attack. And that's it. You know how you defeat them? You walk up to them. And you fucking... Were these things always called Ganmaketsu? Oh, they're probably like immune to light damage, right? Because they're like light moths? Hold on. No, you hit me. They hit me. Alright. Get. Wait a second, I think this is like a random boss. Wait, I'm dead. How long has that fucking guy been there? This is a low-level area. Wait. Wait. Are they still gonna be there? But it looks just like the regular moths. Gosh, I thought this was gonna be a politics stream. Shut the fuck up! That's another one right over there. Are you, like, special? Wait. Identify. Ganmaketsu. Okay. Let me just kill this guy. What are you doing here? You might note, of course, that the process of actually killing a unique enemy is just, like, sort of the same. Are all the moths like that? They are! Oh, they just replaced all the enemies here with more difficult variants. Okay. One thing this game does have that I like is if you hit an enemy in, like, a critical area, like the antennas, you can do, like, an extra bonus chunk of damage by, like, knocking off a limb or something. Wait, do those give extra EXP? Oh my god, they do. What the fuck? Okay, never mind. Alright. Does everyone get my point? Can we move on? Move on. Can we move on? Alright. How is that not innovation? What? I didn't say there was... Never mind. Not getting baited.